All right, well, good morning and welcome back to reading the entire Bible in 1 year, where I'm reading the entire Bible in 1 year, and if you're watching this, then hopefully so are you. Today is January 20th. We are going to be reading out of the NIV version of the Bible. Today is chapter 41 and 42 of Genesis. Next will be Matthew chapter 13, 24 through 46, Psalms 18, 1 through 15, and then Proverbs. We finally finished Proverbs 3, and we're on to Proverbs 4, 1 through 6. So, let's go ahead and start. So Pharaoh told Joseph his dream. In my dream, he said, I was standing on the bank of the Nile River, and I saw 7 fat, healthy cows come up out of the river and begin grazing in the marshy grass. But then I saw 7 sick-looking cows, scrawny, thin, come up after them. I've never seen such sorry-looking animals in all the land of Egypt. These thin, scrawny cows ate the 7 fat cows, but afterwards you wouldn't have known it, for they were still as thin and scrawny as before. And then I woke up. In my dream... Whoa, kind of an accent there. Let's try that again. In my dream, I also saw 7 heads of grain, full and beautiful, growing on a single stalk. Then 7 more heads of grain appeared, but these were blighted, shriveled, and withered by the east wind, and the shriveled heads swallowed the 7 healthy heads. I told these dreams to magicians, but no one could tell me what they meant. Joseph responded, both of Pharaoh's dreams mean the same thing. God is telling Pharaoh in advance what he is about to do. The 7 healthy cows and 7 healthy heads of grain both represent 7 years of prosperity. The 7 thin, scrawny cows that came up later and the 7 thin heads of grain withered by the east wind represent 7 years of famine. This will happen just as I have described it, for God has revealed to Pharaoh in advance what he is about to do. The next 7 years will be a period of great prosperity throughout the land of Egypt, but afterwards there will be 7 years of famine so great that all the prosperity will be forgotten in Egypt. Famine will destroy the land. This famine will be so severe that even the memory of the good years will be erased. For having 2 similar dreams, it means that these events have been decreed by God, and he will soon take them. And he will soon make them happen. Therefore, Pharaoh should find an intelligent and wise man to put him in charge of the entire land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh should appoint supervisors over the land and let them collect 1/5 of all the crops during the 7 years of good. Have them gather up all the food produced in the good years that are just ahead and bring it to Pharaoh's storehouse. Store it away and guard it so that there will be food in the cities. That way, there will be enough to eat when the 7 years of famine come to the land of Egypt. Otherwise, this famine will destroy the land. Joseph's suggestions were well received by the Pharaoh and his officials. So Pharaoh asked his officials, can we find anyone else like this man so obviously fitted with the Spirit of God? Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, since God has revealed this meaning of the dream to you, clearly no one else is as intelligent or wise as you are. You will be in charge of my court, and all my people will take orders from you. Only I, sitting on the throne, will have rank higher than yours. Do you think what Joseph said, therefore Pharaoh should find an intelligent and wise man to put him in charge of the entire land of Egypt? Do you think he was talking about himself there? Never mind. Pharaoh said to Joseph, I hereby put you in charge of the entire land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh removed his signet ring from his hand and placed it on Joseph's finger. He dressed him in fine linen clothing and hung a gold chain around his neck. Then he had Joseph ride in on a chariot reserved for his second in command, and wherever Joseph went in command, the command was shouted, kneel down! So Pharaoh put Joseph in charge of all of Egypt. And Pharaoh said to him, I am Pharaoh, but no one will lift a hand or a foot in the entire land of Egypt without your approval. Then Pharaoh gave Joseph a new Egyptian name, Zephanath-Paneah. He also gave him a wife, whose name was Asenath. I don't know. She was the only daughter of Potipharah, the priest of On. So Joseph took charge of the entire land of Egypt. He was 30 years old when he began serving in the court of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. And when Joseph left Pharaoh's presence, he inspected the entire land of Egypt as predicted for 7 years, and the land produced bumper crops. During those years, Joseph gathered all the crops growing in Egypt and stored the grain from the surrounding fields and cities. He piled up huge amounts of grain like sand and on the seashore. Finally, he stopped keeping records because there was too much to measure. During this time, before the first famine of the year, 2 sons were born to Joseph and his wife. Nope, I said that wrong again. Asenath. Oh, I said it wrong the first time before too. I think. The daughter of Potipharah, the priest of On. Joseph named his older son Manasseh, for he said, "God has made me forget all my troubles and everyone in my father's family." Joseph named his second son Ephraim. Whatever. For he said, "God has made me fruitful in the land of my grief." At last the 7 years of bumper crops throughout the land of Egypt came to an end. Then the 7 years of famine began, just as Joseph had predicted. The famine also struck all the surrounding countries, but throughout Egypt there was plenty of food. Eventually, however, the famine spread throughout the land of Egypt as well, and when the people cried out to Pharaoh for food, he told them, "Go to Joseph and do whatever he tells you." So, with severe famine everywhere, Joseph opened up the storehouses and distributed the grain to the Egyptians, for the famine was severe throughout the land of Egypt. And the people from all around came to Egypt to buy grain from Joseph because the famine was severe throughout the world. When Jacob heard that grain was available in Egypt, he said to his sons, "Why are you standing around looking at one another? I have heard that there's grain in Egypt. Go down and buy enough grain to keep us alive, otherwise we will die." So Joseph's 10 older brothers went down to Egypt to buy grain, but Jacob wouldn't let Joseph's younger brother Benjamin go with them, for fear that harm might come to him. So Jacob's son arrived in Egypt along with the others to buy food, for the famine was in Canaan as well. Since Joseph was governor of all of Egypt and in charge of selling grain to all the people, it was to him that his brothers came. When they arrived, they bowed before him and their faces to the ground. Joseph recognized his brothers instantly, but he also pretended to be a stranger and spoke harshly to them. "Where are you from?" he demanded. "From the land of Canaan," they replied. "We have come to buy food." Although Joseph recognized his brothers, they didn't recognize him, and he remembered the dreams he had about them many years before. And he said to them, "You are spies, and you have come to see how vulnerable our land has become." "No, my lord," they exclaimed. "Your servants have simply come to buy food. We are all brothers, members of the same family. We are honest men, sir. We are not spies." "Yes, you are," Joseph insisted. "You have come to see how vulnerable our land has become." "Sir," they said, "there are actually 12 of us. We, your servants, are all brothers, sons of a man living in the land of Canaan. Our youngest brother is back there with our father right now, and one of our brothers is no longer with us." But Joseph insisted, "As I said, you are spies. This is how I will test your story. I swear by the life of Pharaoh that you will never leave Egypt unless your youngest brother comes here. One of you must go get your brother. I'll keep the rest of you here in prison. Then we'll find out whether or not your story is true. But the life of Pharaoh, if it turns out you don't have a younger brother, then I'll know you are spies." So Joseph put them all in prison for 3 days. Dang. That's one way to deal with your siblings. Genesis stops again today. So, guess you just have to come back tomorrow to figure it out. What happens next? Or, read your own Bible. Now we're going on to Matthew chapter 13. Here's another story Jesus told. "The kingdom of heaven is like a farmer who planted good seed in his field. But that night, as the workers slept, his enemy came and planted weeds among the wheat, then slipped away. When the crop began to grow and produce grain, the weeds also grew. The farmer's workers went to him and said, 'Sir, the field where you planted that good seed is full of weeds. Where did they come from?' 'An enemy has done this,' the farmer exclaimed. 'Should we pull out the weeds?' they asked. 'No,' he replied, 'you'll uproot the wheat if you do. Let both grow together until the harvest. Then I will tell the harvesters to sort out the weeds, tie them into bundles and burn them, and put the wheat in the barn.'" Here's another illustration Jesus used. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed planted in a field. It is the smallest of all seeds, but it becomes the largest of garden plants. It grows into a tree, and birds come and make nests in its branches. Jesus also used this illustration. The kingdom of heaven is like the yeast a woman used in making bread. Even though she put only a little yeast in 3 measures of flour, it permeated every part of the dough. Jesus always used stories and illustrations like these when speaking to the crowds. In fact, he never spoke to them without using such parables. This fulfilled what God had spoken through the prophet. "I will speak to you in parables, and I will explain things hidden since creation of the world. Then, leaving the crowds outside, Jesus went into the house. His disciples said, "Please explain to us the story of the weeds in the field." Jesus replied, "The Son of Man is the farmer who plants the good seed. The field is the world, and the good seed represents the people of the kingdom. The weeds are the people who belong to the evil one. The enemy who planted the weeds among the wheat is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world, and the harvesters are the angels. Just as the weeds are sorted out and burned in the fire, so it will be at the end of the world. The Son of Man will send an angels, and they will remove from his kingdom everything that causes sin and all who do evil. And the angels will throw them into the fiery furnace, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Then the righteous will shine like the sun in their Father's kingdom. Anyone with ears to hear should listen and understand. The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure that a man discovered, hidden in a field. In his excitement, he hid it again and sold everything he owned to get enough money to buy the field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant on the lookout for the choice pearls. When he discovers the pearl of great value, he sold everything he owned and bought it. All right, next is Psalms 18, 1 through 15. I love you, Lord. You are my strength. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my Savior. My God is my rock in whom I find protection. He is my shield and power that saves me, and my place of safety. I called on the Lord, who is worthy of praise, and he saved me from my enemies. The ropes of death entangled me. Floods of destruction swept over me. The grave wrapped its ropes around me. Death laid a trap in my path. But in my distress I cried out to the Lord. Yes, I prayed to my God for help. He heard me from his sanctuary. My cry to him reached his ears. Then the earth quaked and trembled. The foundations of the mountains shook. They quaked because of his anger. Smoke poured out from his nostrils. Fierce flames leaped from his mouth. Glowing coals blazed forth from him. He opened the heavens and came down. Dark storm clouds were beneath his feet. Mounted in the mighty angelic being he flew. Mounted on a mighty angelic being he flew, soaring on the wings of the wind. He shrouded himself in darkness, veiling his approach with dark rain clouds. Thick clouds shielded his brightness all around him, and rained down hail and burning coals. The Lord thundered from heaven. The voice of the Most High resounded amid the hail and burning coals. He shot his arrows and scattered his enemies. Great bolts of lightning flashed, and they were confused. Then at your command, O Lord, at the blast of your breath, the bottom of the sea could be seen, and the foundations of the earth were laid bare. All right, the last chapter is Proverbs 4, 1 through 6. My children, listen when your father corrects you. Pay attention and learn good judgment, for I am giving you good guidance. Don't turn away from my instructions, for I too was once my father's son, tenderly loved as my mother's only child. My father taught me, take my words to heart, follow my commands, and you will live. Get wisdom, develop good judgment, don't forget my words and turn away from them. Don't turn your back on wisdom, for she will protect you. Love her and she will guard you. All right, the last section here at the bottom, again, is that little extra chunk here that just kind of gives us a good little piece of information that we can take away. A pearl to die for. Jesus' stories are rich in wisdom and hidden meanings. Today we read the parable of a man who found a pearl so valuable he sold everything to own it. It is a simple message. Christ and his kingdom are worth any sacrifice, but it is much harder to put this into practice. What do we prize? What are we clutching so tightly that we cannot gain what God has for us? After all, Christ cared for us so much that he gave everything, even his own life, to redeem us. What will you give up to have him? In a society that is so self-centered, it's very hard for us to think as Christians about things that we, or just people in general. Sometimes I know it can be very hard for us to think about what we can give up or have to give up to follow Christ or to live as a Christian. Again, it says here, after all, Christ cared for us so much that he gave up everything, even his own life, to redeem us. And because we are redeemed by Christ, how are we repaying him? How are we repaying his sacrifice? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that my favorite parts specifically from here is I really liked Psalms 18 just in its entirety. I know it gets a little intense there, but I also really like this chapter of Genesis too. Honestly, I think if 40 through like 44 or something is probably my favorite little sections of Genesis. The story of Joseph is just a classic, you know. I guess you'll just have to come back tomorrow to see what happens next. January 21st, tomorrow. So I'm going to pray for you, and then I'm going to go to bed and sleep because I'm tired. Father God, I thank you just so much for every person that is watching this video, Lord. I thank you that that they either came on accident or on purpose this video. God, I thank you that they came either way. Lord, I pray that you would be with the person that's on the other end of the camera. God, that you would just again, Lord, that you richly bless them. Lord, that you'd help highlight the things in their life that they may need to give up, that's holding them back from living in the fullness of relationship with you. Lord, I thank you just so much for your goodness, Lord, that you are a good Father and you are a just Father. You are a good Father. I thank you and I praise you in your name. Pray. Amen. Cool. All right, that's all. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.